Tonight on Best Bits, Jose Delgado introduced Hyder Emil's face to his patella. Jack Hermansson was summarily executed by Gregory Rodriguez. And Ilia Topuria blasted the chin of Charles Oliveira's face.
Well, he's already busted up.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we are recapping, doing a little bit of a best bits for UFC 317, Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Pretty decent night of fights. I did pretty good on my predictions. I only got 2 fights wrong on the whole card. That would be Hyder Emil. I predicted him to get the knockout. Instead he got knocked out. And I picked Renato Moicano to win over Beneil Dariush. Beneil Dariush took the decision in that one. Fair enough, you can't win them all. Still did pretty well. 2 fights wrong on the whole card, I'll take that. If you're not watching them prediction videos, you need to start, bro, you need to start. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I've got like a 80% pick rate, like a high 70-80% pick rate at this point in time. I'm going strong at the minute. Going strong. So I'm going to start off by talking about Peyton Tabet. Peyton Tabet, pretty good display. I'm disappointed it went to a decision. I felt like Tabet probably could have ended it with a bit more volume, but that's fair enough. Lima was doing well by mixing it up with the takedowns. Clearly outmatched on the ground, but I think maybe the takedowns for Lima were more to kind of set the pace and to break up the action a little bit, and to give him space, give himself space for Tabet. But Tabet's been in the gym. Listen, I said in the prediction video, I said that one loss for Tabet wasn't really a negative, it's probably a positive. And in the way that he lost, it was kind of embarrassing, it was kind of humiliating, it wasn't a very good show. And that's the kind of loss that lights a fire under your ass and makes you want to like improve the areas where you quite clearly do not have the same level of skill. And so he went and did that, and thank goodness he did that, because, or maybe to his detriment he did that, because he was kind of getting pieced up a little bit in the stand-up, and it was in the grappling exchanges where he was finding the success and he was breaking the confidence of Felipe Lima. But I had Tabet to win by KO, TKO. There was opportunities for it to happen. There was opportunities, but Tabet was playing it safe. He didn't want to give up another takedown. I think he got taken down once of like 8 attempts in the whole fight. Maybe it was twice of 8 attempts. I can't really remember off the top of my head. But yeah, he didn't get taken down much. I think he was determined to not be taken down as much to show that he has improved, that his striking kind of suffered. That's all I can kind of surmise from it. Because Felipe Lima knew that he was coming against Peyton Tabet and stepped up his game in the striking, you know. But it was kind of a strange reverse where we expected Lima to be better in the grappling and Tabet to be better in the stand-up. And you could tell that Lima still feared Tabet in the stand-up, because that's why he was shooting the takedowns, right? Because he still didn't want to give up the pace of the fight. He still wanted to set the pace of the fight, and he was doing that by mixing the takedowns. But Tabet was kind of getting outstruck, and then was winning in the grappling exchanges, and that was kind of like what was giving him the edge in the end. And he would fend off a grappling exchange, land a few ground and pound strikes, stand back up, land a couple of strikes, then start getting overwhelmed. Then for some reason Lima would shoot in again, and then Tabet would reset the pace. It was a very interesting fight, the way it turned out. Kind of comical in the sense that everyone was expecting Lima to be the better grappler and Tabet to be the better striker, and it kind of seemed to be the opposite in that fight. But Tabet got the win. Tabet's still the better striker on the feet. It was just the I think the attempts to not show his improvement in the grappling that kind of cost him a knockout in this fight, if that makes sense. But we get fights like that sometimes, you know. Fighters do want to make a statement, and sometimes they make the statement but it's not the outcome that you wanted, or sometimes they get chinned or finished trying to make some sort of silly statement like, I'm only going to strike with a guy who's a way better striker than me. It's a silly decision, and then they get knocked out. Or I'm going to grapple with, I'm not scared of this guy taking me down, and they get taken down and submitted, you know. Things like that. So next up we've got Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. I picked Moicano to win. I was predicting a Moicano TKO. I almost had my wish. I always had my prediction. Moicano dropped Dariush in the first round. Didn't manage to finish him. Had him a little bit hurt. Didn't manage to follow up on it. Kind of disappointing there. I was very hyped at that moment in time, and then the hype slowly and very painfully diminished as the fight went on, as Beneil found his feet and started to take over in the grappling and whatnot. Beneil Dariush, really good leg kicks being brought into play. Both guys were working on the legs a lot, but Beneil definitely had the harder leg kicks. Definitely in the first round as well. Definitely like took Renato off his feet at one point with a kick. Definitely hurt his leg pretty badly with like one solid kick. But yeah, Beneil just took over the fight as it went on. Kept the pressure up, dominated in the grappling exchanges. And just kind of ran away with the fight as it went on. A really strong first round from Moicano. Definitely won the round, dropping Beneil and just not managing to get the finish. But Beneil Dariush stayed in there. You know, he's a veteran. He's a crafty vet. But yeah, Beneil stayed in there. He worked where he's good. He worked where he's best, and he brought the fight back into his realm, and he managed to win it. So props to Beneil Dariush. Devastated about that for Renato Moicano and Moicano fan. But that's all good. On to the next one. There's always another fight. The next fight was Brendan Royval versus Joshua Van. I picked Joshua Van to win this one. There was a little bit of controversy around this fight. A lot of people thought Brendan Royval had won that fight, went to a decision. I'm happy with my pick of Joshua Van. I do think it was a close fight. I see the argument for I think round 2 not going to Joshua Van, but I think Van won it. I do think it was close, but yeah, I'd still give it to Joshua Van. Maybe I'm biased though because I picked him, right? You know, I don't want to concede another loss. The next fight, co-main event, Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France. A lot of people had Kai Kara-France knocking out Pantoja. I said he didn't have the style to do it. I said Pantoja's going to wear away at him. And I was right. Pantoja, dominant champion. Kai Kara-France isn't the guy to do it. He's a good fighter. He's got knockout power. He is entertaining to watch. He's not got the style to beat Pantoja. I said this going in, he doesn't have the style to beat Pantoja. He didn't have the style to beat Pantoja. Pantoja wore him down, I should say, over 3 rounds, and he managed to get the submission. Kai Kara-France, I feel like I'm being super dismissive of Kai Kara-France. I like Kai Kara-France. I don't hate him. I think he's a decent fighter. If it had been anyone else who was currently the champion, like if Steve Erceg had won, I think Kai Kara-France did beat Steve Erceg. The point I'm making is if it had been anybody else, Kai Kara-France would probably win, but it's not. It's Alexandre Pantoja. And Kai Kara-France doesn't have the style to beat Pantoja. The people I thought had the style to beat Pantoja didn't have the style to beat Pantoja, i.e. Steve Erceg. So yeah, I mean, Steve Erceg did well, so I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this one. Kai Kara-France didn't have the style to beat Pantoja. I predicted that. I was right. He got submitted in round 3. Pantoja still going strong. Who's going to be the man to dethrone Alexandre Pantoja? Who's going to be the man to do it? Maybe he's not even been born yet. On to the next one, the final fight of the night. Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. I said Ilia Topuria would knock out Charles Oliveira within 3 rounds. He knocked him out inside of 1 round, as Ilia himself predicted. I've been thinking all week that we're kind of seeing the rise of another McGregor in Ilia Topuria, and if you look at his career path, you know, and there was a time as well where people were saying that Ilia is just a McGregor clone, and now, you know, he's doing well. He's winning belts back to back. He's taking out legends. He's finishing, being the only man to finish Max Holloway. He's chinning Charles Oliveira in a round. You know, we are witnessing the rise of a phenomenal star, like actually, like potentially the next Conor McGregor, is what I've been thinking. And that's a bit of a weird tangent because McGregor's like had a big falling off, but I mean like in terms of what McGregor was and how he built the sport and how fast he came up and stuff. Like Ilia Topuria is on the same track as that, and you know he speaks English now. He speaks English well. You know, he's marketable. You know, if the UFC played the cards right, they end up with another Conor McGregor, and I think they don't want another McGregor though. Is the problem? I think the UFC are kind of worried about getting another McGregor where the star transcends the sport, and then the sport's kind of tied to his name, and every kind of controversy he gets into is kind of tied to the UFC. It's that kind of thing. I don't think Ilya is the same type of dude as a McGregor. You can see the inspiration quite clearly. Like, there was a reason why people were calling him a McGregor clone for the longest time. But clearly he's legit. And he's getting shit done. I don't want to say he's a McGregor clone or he's the next McGregor, because he's clearly his own thing in Ilia Topuria. They're not the same person. They fight similarly. I mean, look at these emphatic wins, but hey ho, there you go. As I predicted, Ilia Topuria knocks out Charles Oliveira. I felt bad for Oliveira though. You know, no one wants to fight Ilia. Everyone knows, everyone can see it. And Charles is like, yeah man, I'll fight him. That takes some stones. It's a shame it had to be Charlie Olives, but bam, what a knockout! I can't imagine Ilia took too much damage in that fight. He basically dominated it. I mean, there was a point where Charles tried to take down Ilia, got it reversed on him, and then Ilia was on top control and put him in like a half cruise and just decided to let Charles up. Like, he demonstrated to Oliveira that he was better in the grappling, and then said, now stand up because I'm going to knock you out. And then he did. He knocked him out. I mean, poor IQ from Oliveira. Like, he was getting touched up by the jab. He was getting picked apart quite clearly. Topuria had found the range, and instead of resetting or trying to find a new angle to come in from, or maybe even back out and switch stances or something, I don't know. He kind of just marched forward right into the shots that Ilia had been lining up with the two jabs beforehand. So kind of a bad IQ moment from Charles Oliveira, but Charles has got a chin. He probably thought he wasn't going to get spark clean out, and he got spark clean out. I did say that Ilia would blast the chin off Charles's body, and that is what happened. So there you have it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a like. Subscribe for more banging content. I've got some more videos in the works, some more funny stuff in the works. I've been going after John Jones a little bit. I've been defending John Jones a little bit. But yeah, so thank you very much once again for watching. Until next time, keep your chin down, keep swinging, peace and love. I'll see you around.